All of you do this question, which you can see here, all 7 questions. I'll be discussing them at 6:20, so do it quick. All of you do these questions, all 7 questions. I'll be discussing them at 6:20. So you have 6 more minutes. If there's any queries, you can just drop in the chat. I'll check them. Can I have any of your old semester papers or any of your old pilot papers? You will be getting, that's too much for you to process, I'm pretty sure. My old papers are too hard for you, so I don't think it's suitable for you. It's too hard. The people who did the paper, you can ask them. It's so hard in such that only there was 3 people or 4 people who got A's. Only one person, I think, who got more than 80 marks. It was so hard. That's my previous paper. So I don't want to give you all that amount of pressure this time. Pavam Neola. This time it's gonna be easy, don't worry. No matter how many questions, I do still find number conversions hard. I will teach you separately. Wait. If for grade 10 online, what is the lesson you're doing? Grade 10, we have completed the fifth lesson, I guess, last week. So probably we'll be starting the sixth lesson coming Thursday. I am preparing for the devil's paper. Like I just posted a status saying that your paper is getting cooked. Ne? So then one of my staffs replied saying like, so that staff was responsible of checking if there are any errors in the paper. So that staff was saying that you all will be getting cooked once the paper is over. So you all are going to become barbecues. This time's exams on the 22nd of August in Vellavata Kolandawa. Both the academies will happen at the same time. So you can select which academy you want to do. Both are possible. Others, you'll have 3 more minutes. Quickly complete these questions. Once you're done completing, raise your hands in the participant list so that I know you're done. Is it only physical? Physical class students has to do it physically. They can't do it online unless they have told me a specific reasons and I make a decision on that. Online class students, you all can decide. I will tell them tomorrow's online class. Pseudocode uses print. Pseudocode you can use any statement. You can use print, you can use display, you can use the word show. There is no hard and fast rule. As long as you use English term, you are good to go. All of you do this question, okay? I think 11 of you all have done. These are all easy questions. I think only one of them or two of them are from grade 11. And there's all a grade 10 question. Is spreadsheet a must question in MCQ? Yeah, they ask around 3 to 5 MCQs from spreadsheet. Programming also they'll ask around 3 to 5. You'll have 1 minute more. Only 16 of you all are done. What mean others? You all are so slow. 17, the she. 19, 20. Ah, when I say you all are so slowly, you're trying to become fast and do it. Quick, quick, quick. You all have 8 minutes. In Hindi, 8 means one. That's what I said. And the copy of the paper. Once we're over, I send you. That time you will be doing the paper earlier. First two questions before the class, I was stunning. Ah, good, good. Not bad. Okay, time up. Let's start the discussion. Overall, what's your idea on this paper? Is it an easy paper? Is it all these questions? What do you all feel about it? Is it hard? Don't tell me it's hard when I am even asking this question from you. It's very easy. Ne? Yes, see, it's very easy. These are all jujube for you all. Kan kaju kana wagi, ne? Isn't it? This is the paper we got for second term. Huh? This is the Jayavardhan first term paper. From grade 10 we're answering. Okay, let's answer. Come. Can grade 10s do question, pseudocode questions? No, that's grade 11. Pseudocode is grade 11. I mean, if you really want to do, you can do, but that's the pseudocode part. The remaining most of the stuffs for regarding grade 10. Anyways, what is the major hardware technology used in the second generation computers? So if you take these computers, okay, normally you take from generation to generation, tell me what are the things that got changed. I'm not asking the changes, I'm asking what are the things that got changed. Yes, one is the size got changed, correct. One is the price, okay. One is the speed got changed, correct. One is the power consumption got changed, correct. One is electricity consumption. Yes, the technology used, the space, all of these got changed. Perfect. Okay. Normally, if you take most of them, like for example, the size, the speed. No, let's avoid the speed. But apart from the speed, if you take things like size, then the power consumption, and let's say the heat generation, all those stuffs, did they increase or did they reduce? If you take the size, the power, the heat generation, then the price, all of these stuffs, did they increase or did they reduce with the computer generations? Exactly, they reduced. What about the, for example, let's say the speed and the storage capacity? What about them? The speed and storage capacity, did they reduce or did they increase? Yes, both of them actually increased, but the remaining stuffs mostly reduced. Perfect. Okay. So it was not the same. It did not remain the same. The speed increased. The storage capacity also increased. Okay. Now for our speed to increase, normally if you take your computers, it does like if you take your computer, we normally deal with four actions. Okay. If you take your computer, there are four main functions in the computer. What are the four main functions? Again, you learn this in the second lesson. Huh? If you take your computer, there are four main functions. What are they? Okay, input correct, process correct, store correct, exactly. And the last one is output. Perfect. Now in your computer, tell me what is the hardware? What is the hardware that's responsible to do all these processing stuffs? Your processing is done by your CPU. Okay. Now, if you take your CPU, CPU is like a small, if you have seen a CPU, it's like a small chip we have in our computer. Okay. So nowadays we have this chip. We call this chip mostly as something as a microprocessor. Nowadays, computer, if you take your CPU, it's a small chip. Okay. It contains something called as like microprocessor. But if you take first generation computers, what was the technology they used in their CPU? If you take the first generation computers, what was used there? Punch card was used for storage, but what was used for what do you call processing? Exactly. It was the vacuum tubes that was used. Then what was used in the second generation computers? Again, tapes are used for storage. What was used for processing? Exactly. The transistors were used for processing. Then what was used in the third generation computers? Exactly. Third generation computers started using integrated circuit. Then fourth generation computers. Yes, fourth generation computers, it started using large scale integrated circuit. Also, microprocessors also was started, correct. What about fifth generation computers? AI is like a technology fine, but what is the processing? Using AI, you can't process stuffs. AI is completely different. I'm asking what is used to build up the processor. Yes, mostly we use ultra large scale integrated circuit. Okay, so here we use large scale integrated circuit as well as very large scale integrated circuit in the fourth generation computers. And fifth generation computers, we use something called as ultra large scale integrated circuit. So basically, what these means are these are some of the hardwares that are present inside your CPU. Okay, these are all present inside your CPU. Nowadays, you take most of the computers, they contain these microprocessor or this type of integrated circuit only. Okay, ultra large scale integrated circuit. IC stands for integrated circuit. So LSIC means large scale integrated circuit. ULSIC means ultra large scale integrated circuit. So these were the technologies we used in terms of processing data. So normally if you get these types of questions, like where they ask you what is a major hardware technology used, always talk about, it's better if you can talk about the either processing. Okay, the hardware used to process certain tasks or store certain tasks. Okay, if you are going to tell the processing for second generation, they're asking you to they're asking second generation, yeah, so they're asking only one generation, but yeah, here you can tell you either the processing or you can do the storing. It's better if you can mention the processing. Okay, so in terms of processing, what was used in second generation computers to process data? Yes, we use transistors. And then in the first generation computers, to store data, we use something called as a punch card. In second generation, to store data, what do we use? Yes, we use magnetic tapes. Then we use this floppy disk. Okay, most of the magnetic storage devices were developed in the second generation computers. Okay, so I'm going to mention magnetic tapes. So for that question, if you had mentioned transistors, also you can put 1 mark. If you had mentioned magnetic tape, also you can put 1 mark. You don't have to mention both. If you had mentioned either one of them, you can put 1 mark there. Anyone have any questions there? Okay, let's go for the next one. Write two differences between second and third generation computers. Now, regarding processor, already we know. Second generation computer in terms of processor, we know that it uses a transistor. What is the third generation computers used? Yes, third generation uses IC for processing. In terms of storage, what is the second generation computer used for storage? I have written there, it's tapes. Okay, fine. I'll just write that again here. What is the third generation computers used for storage then? The third. Yes, third generation computers, they started using the high capacity disk and all those stuff. So you can mention here in terms of storage, they started using a higher capacity disk, higher capacity hard disk. You can mention that as an example as well. Okay. So you can mention any two differences. That's also going to be correct. So I have mentioned it regarding the processor as well as the storage. Apart from that, you can also mention, let's say, in the that's common. So in terms of difference, yeah. Apart from that, you can talk about the difference in terms of speed. Okay, so you can tell second generation, so third generation computers are faster than the second generation. In terms of size, you can tell second generation computers are larger than the third generation computers. In terms of power consumption, you can tell the third generation computers they consume less power than the second. Then in terms of heat generation, you can say third generation used to produce less heat than a second. Then you can see in terms of price, what you call the third generation computers were comparatively cheaper than the second generation killer. You can mention those differences as well. So keep in mind when we went to from the second generation, when we went to the third generation, in terms of size, power, heat, price, they all reduced, and speed and storage they increased. Okay, keep those two in your mind. I put keyboard and mouse for inputting. Then what did you put inputting for the second generation? When you are talking about difference, now for example, when I ask you, I give you two people here. Okay, I'm asking you all the differences between these two people. When I say difference, if you just tell me that this fellow is tall, when I'm asking what is the difference, you're saying this person is tall. If I just tell the word this person is tall, will that show a difference between these two? There are two people. I am only talking about one person. This person is tall. Exactly. That doesn't actually tell you the difference. But how can I tell the difference? If I'm going to compare, if I'm going to tell the difference between them, what I should do is, if I'm like this person is tall, then I should tell what the next statement I have to mention. Exactly. The next statement I have to mention is the other person is short. So when you're talking about differences, you can't just tell that okay, this person is tall. You know, also tell that this person is short. That's why when I talk about size power, I said what do you call the third generation company is larger than the second generation. Okay, so it's smaller than the first second generation. And I said, what you call third generation companies use less power than you have to compare both of them. If you just tell only one of their properties, it's wrong. So if you're going to talk about second and third, if you're going to tell a third generation companies start using keyboards and mouse for inputting data, you'll also mention then what is the second generation use. Then only you're comparing. Got it also? Before price in green color, what's that word? Before price, heat. Heat, price, storage. Okay, so when you're always doing, you know, compare these two stuff. So you can tell differences. You can tell one thing like I told. You can compare the hardware's used, like the processor or the storage. That's one thing you can compare. Or you can compare these features. Like for example, you can say heat wrong spellings. That's HEAT. How do you spell heat? I learned heat as HEAT. Is it wrong? HEAT. That's how you press heat, right? There is two heats. One is a hot heat, and then sport meat is also called a heat. That is double ET. That's a different heat. Anyways, this is not English class. So forget about that. Okay, so yeah, you can mention any of them. So you can mention the properties different or the processing power different. Anyone have any questions there? Anyone having any questions there? So is NM blah 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 used in the fourth generation computers? No, they were mainly used in the fifth generation computers. Mirza, is this one still going on? Till distance, I called it. Okay, next question. No other doubts? Right. So again, 1 mark you can put there if you had mentioned half marks for each difference. Again, you have to compare, not only one side. So you can compare these things, or you can compare the processing stuffs as well. These four ways how ICT helps in the field of education. Okay, tell me in the field of education. First of all, tell me mainly when you're talking about education, who are the two people who might use ICT? Like there are more than two people, but mainly who are the two parties? There are two main parties. For the two main parties, exactly. There are like no apart from this, there are mainly the two parties are the teacher and the student. But apart from teacher and student, there can be other parties as well. For example, there can be what do you call the school. There can be your parents. There are mainly several parties, but let's take the mainly the two parties, teacher and student. So they're asking four ways now. So let's think two advantage teachers can get, and let's say two advantage students can get. First of all, tell me two advantage teachers can get using this. Tell me two advantages teachers can get. Oh, teachers, okay, not student teachers. First teachers, let's say teachers. Yes. One thing teachers can get correct first thing, they can create presentation. Okay. Create presentations. Okay. Or they can you can tell they can use multimedias. Okay, they can create presentations, they can use multimedias while teaching, and then we can mention they can what do you call create online quizzes. Correct? Exactly. So they can use meetings, reports, all of them. They are all correct. Okay. So mainly they can use create presentations. Skill you can mention. Apart from that, you can mention they can use multimedia. So presentation is also multimedia, but you can write any other points as well. So use multimedia such as audio, video, and teach during class. Then you can mention they can create online quizzes. Okay, that's also correct. That's also correct. Now tell me in terms of students, tell me some advantage students can get. Is maintaining student information system correct? Yes, that's correct. Yeah, in terms of students, they can learn from anywhere at any time. This is one feature. One of the features is they can learn from anywhere at any time. What else? Making presentations for assignments. Did you all make presentation for your assignment? Those are all things what not you all do. No. Those are things what what you call university students might do. Tell me something which you all might do. Yes, you can mention what you call you can learn from anywhere, anytime. Then yes, you can watch educational videos, correct. Then you can use what you call learning management systems, right? Then you can mention you can what do you call giving assignments. That's for teachers, right? Then for students, apart from that, you can also mention learning from anywhere, anytime. Then you can also mention what you call like someone of you mentioned. You can download or what do you sorry watch the educational videos online in platforms like YouTube. You can download past papers from the internet, correct? You can share your what do you call educational materials with your friends using internet. So these are all certain advantage you can mention in how ICT can be used by either students or teachers. Apart from that, you can mention about school, what you call teachers, and even what do you call even them as well, even schools as well. So teachers, sorry, parents and schools as well. You can mention clear doubts through online, correct? So Q&A forums that comes under clear doubts through online. That's also correct. Easy to study, easy short note, no need to write. Easy to study, easy short note, no need to write. These three are not very efficient answers. It's technically correct, but that's not very like precise answers. So when you're giving your answer, it's better if you can be a bit more precise. So then the person who's marking your answer knows exactly that okay, this person has a deep idea. Okay. Okay, perfect. Let's go for the next one. Write four characteristics of information. Now, this is where majority of it play the fool. When you're learning about characteristics, there are two characteristics you learn. One, you learn about characteristic of information. One, you learn characteristics of a computer. What you all do is you all try mixing both of them together. Okay, I'll give you all a no. So make sure you know the difference between both of them. My smile will reveal something. So I put LMS, Google Classroom, anywhere, anytime, and teaching it. Correct. They're the most appropriate because the rest comes. Yeah, correct. LMS, Google Classroom, anywhere, anytime, teaching aid. Google Classroom, LMS is almost the same, but that's fine. Yeah. So in terms of characteristics of information, first you can say, how do you say that most of the time the information will be correct? How do you? What is the word you use for that? How do you say okay? Most of the time the information will be correct. Yes, we call that as accuracy. Perfect. Okay, you call it as accuracy. Perfect. How do you say that most of the time the information will be updated? Always information will be updated. How do you say that? Yes, that's called timeliness. Perfect. How do you say most of the time the information will be what do you call? My question will have the answer. How can I tell the question? Ask you all the answer without the question. How can you say always the what do you call your information will be, let's say, not in half or a bargain kiya nahi hai. If I tell the other word, it's basically so you have like the solid information. It's not part kiya nahi. Exactly. You can call it as complete. Okay, completeness. There is no. It's not like bargain information. I mean, you have the complete information. Correct. Okay. Then how do you say? Okay. One of you said about meaningful. The meaningful, meaningless, they're not characteristics of information. They are properties of information. That's when you're going to compare data and information. Data and information are comparing only, you can tell meaningful, meaningless, but that is not suitable for characteristics. In terms of characteristics, you can say accuracy, timeness, completeness. How do you say, what do you call, in terms of what do you call, let's say, I expect this answer one person. Is versatility a characteristics of information? This is what I was giving you a hint in the beginning itself. No, that is not the characteristic of information. That's the characteristics of a computer. Okay. Versatility is not a characteristic of computer. That's characteristics of the information. Okay. See, that's a characteristic of the computer, not information. So apart from these three, you can tell about something called cost effective. What's the difference between relevancy and cost effective? Relevance and accuracy. It's something like this. Now, for example, imagine you're a great your index number is 1011. Okay, your friend's index number is 1001. This is you, and this is your friend's index number. Okay, let's say there's a staff. The staff is coming and telling you. Okay, the staff is coming and telling you. What do you call index number 1001 has got 100 marks for the exam. Okay, and the same staff is going for the index number 1001 and saying, what do you call for this person? He's going and telling The index number 1011 got, sorry, for your friend they are going and saying the index number 1001 got 100 marks. For you they are coming and saying the index number 1001 got 80 marks. Okay, so how much did this index number 1001 get? 1001 got how many marks? Yes, 1001 got 80 marks. Perfect. How much did 1011 got marks? How much this fellow got? Exactly, this fellow got 100 marks. Now, if the teacher, okay, if the teacher goes and tell the student, okay, the student number, let's say 1011. If the teacher goes and or the staff goes and tell the student number 1011, they go and tell the student number 1001 got 80 marks. Okay, 1001 got 80 marks. Now, is that information accurate? Accurate means correct. Okay, is that information correct? That student 1001 got 80 marks. Is this information correct? Those who are saying wrong, then what is the correct marks? Some of you are saying wrong, then what is the correct marks for the index number 1001? No, see, I have mentioned no here. Index number 1001, he has got 80 marks. See, index number 1, he got 80 marks. It's correct. It is correct. So if you take this information, is this information accurate? Yes, this information is accurate. It is accurate. Those who are saying it's inaccurate, then tell me what is the correct value then? Information is accurate. 1001, he got 80 marks. Even his name, what his name is, again, I'm asking, is this information accurate? The information was, what was the information? Student number 1001 got 80 marks. That was the information. The number wrong. So who cares about the number? You did not understand my question. My question was basically, is this information correct? This information is correct. Correct means now if I come and tell you your friend got 75 marks. Let's say your friend got 75 marks. So you will come and tell say your name is wrong. How can you say your name is wrong? I'm saying your friend. No, I'm not a you got. I said your friend got. You can't tell that I'm wrong. I'm correct. My information is accurate. Even though my information is accurate, is my information relevant? Now, for example, more than knowing your marks, knowing your friend's marks, is that valid? Is that something relevant to you? Without telling you your marks, if I come and tell your friend's marks, is that something relevant for you? Now, for example, imagine I'm going to do an Excel seminar. I'm going to do a seminar for the Excel students. If I come and tell you that information is accurate, I might come and tell, okay, on 22nd of August, I'm going to have a what do you call seminar for the Excel student. That information is accurate. But even though that information is accurate, is it relevant for you? No. That is the difference between accuracy and relevancy. Accuracy, you're saying, is your information correct or wrong? In relevance, you're saying, is this information something I need or I don't need? Is that clear? Got the difference between relevance and accuracy now? Okay, so you can mention any of them. Don't answer what's in your head, answer what the question is. Exactly, see? That's the dialogue I've been saying for another almost 1.5 years, I think. Relevance is whether it's related to us. Is that relevancy? I can't understand cost effectiveness. To explain cost effectiveness is where it's talking about collecting your information. So when you're collecting your information, you make sure that you don't waste money to collect. I mean, for example, imagine I can get your information from here and here. If I can get your information from here for 50 rupees, if I can get your same information from here for 100 rupees, I should go for the 50 rupees option. I have to talk about data, then I can talk about information. What's that word after completeness? That's cost effectiveness. It's like reduce. Reduce is I'm talking about the previous question. When see this is coming for here. You have to go and check your bloody eyes. This is cost effective. Okay, so these are the 5 characteristics of information. If you have mentioned any of them, you can get the marks. Information is not free. That is not cost effective. It's just a use exactly. You'll get used to it. Information is wealth. Exactly. That is one of the main business I do. I collect information. Actually, I collect data and form information. Okay, next. Complete the following calculation and provide the answer in base decimal. So we have two values, 4BF base 16. Let me write it now neatly. So we have two values. One is 4BF base 16 and the other one is 3456 base 8. 3456 base 8. Secret agent of government. No, I work for the FBI. Sri Lankan government is useless. Anyways, now they are asking us to have the final answer in decimal. So it's easy if we can convert them also to decimal, then finding the answer is going to be easy. Okay. Normally, if you want to convert a hexadecimal number to decimal number, okay, if you want to convert a hexadecimal number into a decimal number or any number system, if you want to convert that to decimal, easiest thing you're going to do is you're going to multiply each digit. Okay, you're going to multiply each digit by the respective place value. So in hexadecimal, you can find the place value like this: 16 to the power 0, 16 to the power 1, and 16 to the power 2. So this I'm writing these values to find the place value. Okay, so this is 1, this is going to be 16, and this is going to be 256. Like 6 times 6 is 36, 6 3 remains. 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 3, yeah, 2 times 1 is 2, 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15, 5 1 remains, 1 1 1, yeah, 256, correct. Okay, so once you have the place value, what you're going to do is you're going to multiply each digit by its place value. Each digit by its place value. Okay, so 1 times f. What is the value of f normally in hexadecimal? F is represented, what is the value represented by f? Yes, it is 15. What is the value represented by b? It is 11. Okay, so 1 times 15 is how much? Let's see if you are good with your maths. Yes, 1 times 15 is 15. What is the value of 16 times 11? 160 plus 11, 160 and 176. 160, 176. Yes. 176, right? Am I wrong in maths? 16 times 11, 160 plus 16, 176. Yeah. You're making me doubt my answer. 6 times 1 is 6. See, yeah, 6 times 1 is 6. And then 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1. So 6 plus 1 is 7, 1 times 1 is 1, 6. Haven't I taught you all the shortest method in calculation? So this is an equation I created a long time back. Okay. If you have to do a multiplication like this, yeah, all 4 digits are different. Okay. You can find the digit in one place. The value of one place is equal to BD, which means here 1 times 6 is going to give you 6. To find the value in the tens place, what you do is you do cross multiplication and add them. It is basically the value in the tens place is going to be equal to AD plus BC. And we get the value in the hundreds place, you take the value of AC. So here basically 1 times 6 is 6. And then cross multiplication at 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 plus 6 is 7. And then hundreds place, just multiply these two numbers, so 1 times 1 is 1. That's how I do multiplications. Again, I do all this in the mind. So if it's too much for you to process, ignore it. I have actually created I have created equations to find, square root, square numbers, multiplications, 2 digits, 3 digits. These are all things which I do using orders because I'm a lazy person. So I'm lazy to do long multiplication. So I created my own equation. Anyways, to multiply a number by 11, you just add the 2 digits and put them together. To multiply a number 11, but you do not do this. If it's 11, you can directly multiply by 10 and then add one more to it. So that's what I did. 160 plus 10 plus 16, 176. Anyways, why am I teaching all this? 256 into 4, that's going to be 512,024. Okay, so if you multiply, these are the values you're going to get. Okay, so the meaning of this 1024, 176, and 15. The meaning of that is the value that is represented by this. Okay, the letter F is there. The value represented by that is 15 in decimal. The value represented by B is there. That is 176 in decimal. The value represented by the 4 is there. That's 1024 in decimal. Okay, I'm taking the value that number is holding. Not the value the digit is holding. I'm not talking about the value the digit is holding. I'm talking about the value the place is holding. For example, if I have a number 176, We can know, okay, the value of this digit is 6, the value of this digit is 70, and the value of this is 100. In a normal number, that's how we did, right? The value of this 100 is 70 and 6. So if I'm going to form the value of this whole number, how do I tell? I'll be like 100 plus 70 plus 6. That's how I get 176 now. Similarly, if you take the hexadecimal number as well, if you want to find the value of this, you're going to tell, okay, this is, if you take the hundreds place, the value that's holding is 1024 now, and the tens place value holding is 176. Ones place value holding is 15. So you can find the total value of this number by adding them together. So that's going to be 1024 plus 176 plus 15. That's going to give you 6 plus 4, 10. 10 plus 5 is 15. 1 remains. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. Again, 1 remains. And then 1, 2, and then 1. So it's 1215. Is this the answer I got? Is it the answer I got for BF? Okay, perfect. Next, 3456 base 8. So let's convert 3456 into decimal. Again, same process. 8 to the power 0, 8 to the power 1, 8 to the power 2, 8 to the power 3. That's 1, 8, 64. 64 into 8, 8, 16, 24, 32. 2, 3 remains. 8, 16, 24, 48, 49, 50. Is it 502? 8 to the power 3. I'm a bit bad at maths sometimes. 512, sorry. Mr. Digit. I am because it's I take one's place. I'm sorry, my bad. 512. And then 1 times 6 is 6, 8 times 5 is 40, 64 times 4 is 64, 128, 256. And 512 times 3 is 1024, 1026, 1036, 1536. And the value of this number is going to be equal to 1536 plus 256 plus 40 plus 6. That's going to be basically 256, 296, 200, 300, 1836. 200, sorry, 1842. 36, no, 38, sorry, 38. Because 2 are there, so 30, 256, and they are 204, 260, 300, 302, 308. So 338, 838, yes, 1838. Ignore the way I calculate numbers. I'm a bit bungle in doing calculations. It's correct till 90%, but ignore my process of doing maths. It's complicated for you all. Focus on the answer. No, it's 1838. Majority of you will get it correct. Double check your answers, others. They all did a mistake. Okay. So it should be base 10. My bad. Now to find the final answer, just add them together. So 8 plus 5 is going to give you 13. So 3 plus 4 plus 1 is 5. 8 plus 2 is 10. So that's going to be 3053. How many of you all got the answer as 3053? Wait. Raise your hands up. You told you'll be creating an app. Yes, I'll be doing it. I'm a bit busy these days, but I'll be doing it. I forgot the base. For decimal numbers, you don't need base. So yeah, the answer there is 3053. If there is any one of you all who don't understand these number conversions, okay, if you don't know the basics of number conversion, first of all, like you don't know how to convert anything. I actually did a free seminar, I think last year or something. I can't remember exactly when. I did the last. How did you get 353? I just added these together. See, add these two numbers because the question is asking add them. No? So I add them and I'll get 3053. They have said to mention the base. Have they mentioned? Answer in base decimal, right? They ask you to keep the answer in decimal number. So you can just keep it in 3053. Anyways, what do you called? In terms of number conversion, I did a complete seminar talking about all the number conversions. Okay. So if there's anyone of you also, if you just go to Google and type there, my YouTube is very ugly. It's content full of songs. You can just ignore it. But yeah, if you go to that is YouTube, you notice there is this number conversion seminar. If you are very bad at number conversion, you can go and look at this one. If you are saying that even though I went through it, still my number conversion is bad, do this. Go through that. I'll give you all to write something. You write that as well. Once you complete the whole seminar, try to create something like this on your own. Let me show you a picture, okay, which we did in the class. Um, so once you're done with the seminar, try creating your whole thing like this. Let me show that picture as it homework. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, try creating something like this where you have all the conversions in one page. So if you try doing this on your own, then that will show that you're good at number conversions. Okay, so this has summary converting everything to decimal, second line converting everything to octal, third line you can say converting everything to, so second line is converting binary, third line converting to octal, fourth line converting to hexa. Okay, lesson one, no item. Right. Anyone having any questions here? You all want to clarify? I think I answered everything. I didn't miss anything. Suppose I miss your question, just send it again. Huh? Send it again means don't spam my chat. Just send it again. You didn't send us home till we finish that. Yes. Exactly. No, yeah, here. That's not even English songs. That's a different language. It's not old, but it's brand new. It came recently. That's why I'm saying, see, these all, what do you call, not out, these all timeless. These buggers don't know what is a new song and old song, not updated. It's errors of timeless. I added the binary and got the correct answer. That's fine. As long as you got the correct answer, you're good to go. But your answer should be in decimal. Huh? You can't keep your answer any other number. Okay, fine. Next one. Convert 502 base 8 into binary number. Write down the steps. Okay. Normally there's a long way to do it and there's a short way to do it as well. Let me show you the short way of how do you do it. Okay. So if you have a number, for example, let's say the number 502. If you want to convert this number from what do you call octal to binary, first thing what you do is you should have the idea about what is octal number system. Okay. Now, if you had learned number system from me, I would have told you octal is a number. What was the reason octal was created? I told you all that as well. Let's see if any of you know the reason. The reason why octal number system was created. Okay. Not precise, but fine. Any other answers? Because if you all know the reason why this number system was created, you will actually be able to figure out the answer as well. Not precise. I'll tell you the answer. Okay. Sure, can't remember. If you're, I think some of you are typing, but fine. So listen. Earlier days, people used to write binaries. Okay. So when they were writing binaries, what happened was sometimes binaries were written for like so long numbers. You know, like for example, represent a small number, even like a 4 5 digit number. In binaries, it might take several digits. So what they were saying is writing binary numbers are only for writing purpose. They normally use this group. Now this, let's say binary numbers like this. They were like, instead of writing a number like this, let's do a small trick. Let's group it was they group 3 digits. Okay, they group 3 digits, and they told these 3 digits is going to these 3 bits. Okay, these three. I'm stuck. I think there was a call which came. Now okay, ne? Yeah. So like they were saying, these 3 bits are going to represent 1 digit. Then these 3 bits are going to represent another digit. Then these 3 bits are going to represent another digit. Likewise, what they did is they told that 1 digit is going to be represented by 3 bits. They create a number system like that. Okay. And that number system will be called as an octal number system. That's why you know sometimes we say for octal as it's a how many bit number system. Octal is a how many bit number system? Exactly. It's a 3-bit number system. The reason we say it's a 3-bit number system is because 1 digit is represented by 3 bits. Okay. So they group these 3 bits at 1 digit. So let me now show you how they give a value for these 3 digits. Okay. Normally using 3 bits, there are different numbers you can form. Okay. Using 3 bits, you can form actually eight different numbers. Okay, if you're going to be precise, there can be eight different numbers that can be formed using these three bits. Okay, so what they did was they were like, okay, using three bits we can form different numbers. No, let's tell what are the different numbers we can form. Okay, and they wrote the value of it. So for example, you can find the value of the three bits like this: 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, and 2 to the power 2. So the last bit is representing the value of 1, the next bit is representing the value of 2, and the next bit is representing the value of 4. Okay, these are place values basically, right? So what they were like is using these values, using these what you call 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, and 2 to the power 2. Using these only, they had to form a number. So let's say if all three bits are 1, then you can see the value is going to be 1 times 1 plus 2 times 1 plus 4 times 1. This is basically equal to 7. Let's say if the what you call the bits are something like this 101, then again they do the same thing. Multiply each digit by its place value. Okay, so 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 0 is 0, 4 times 1 is 1, the value is going to be 5. Right? Let's say all three bits were 0, so 0, 0, 0. Then again multiply by the place 0. 1 times 0 is 0, 2 times 0 is 0, 4 times 0 is 0, answer is 0. So likewise, what they did is they gave value for the all seven, or I mean all eight numbers that can be formed using three bits. They gave value for it. Now using that, tell me what is the smallest number that can be formed in three bits? What is the smallest decimal number that can be formed with the help of three bits? Exactly. The smallest decimal number that can be formed is 0. Where all three bits are 0. If all three bits are 0, then the value is going to be 0. What is the largest value that can be formed in three bits? Now, largest means where all three bits are present. If all three bits are present, what is the largest number you can form? Exactly. The largest number you can form is number 7. Perfect. Or in triple one binary. Likewise, they gave values. So now that's how the octal number system is found. Now, if you want to convert from octal to binary, what you should do is you have to reverse engineering. What you do reverse engineering, you're going to tell, okay, if number 7 is going to be an octal number, then behind this number 7, there's basically three bits that are hiding. So you're going to find what these three bits are. Okay, so you can say, okay, anyways, the value of these three bits are going to be a composition of 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, and 2 to the power 2. No, it's a value that's going to combine these numbers. So you're going to see, okay, to form the number 7, what are the digits we need? So you can see, if you add 4 and 2 and 1 together, you'll be getting the number 7. So you can say the binary number is going to be triple one. Likewise, only we normally find these binary octal conversion. The same process for hexadecimal, only difference is hexadecimal, instead of 3 bits, you use 4 bits. So let me just show you how you can convert this octal number given, that's 502, into binary. First step, better if you can write it separately. Write 5 separately, 0 separately, and 2 separately. The reason is because I figured 3 bits. No, there are 3 bits, okay? What are the 3 bits hiding behind this digit, and this digit, and this digit? So to find those 3 bits, I'm going to write the first 3 bits place values. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 4. No? These are called place values. No? I'm going to write these place values under each digit. So 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. Now tell me, to form the number 5, what are the place values I have to add together? What are the place values I have to add together to form the number 5? Yes, I had to add 4 and 1. So just circle them. To get the number 0, should I add any of these numbers together? No. So I'm going to leave it as it is. To get the number 2, what are the place values I have to add together? Exactly, only number 2. So then what you do is below the numbers you're going to use, you write 1. Below the numbers you don't need, you write 0. Something like this. Okay. So then we can say the final answer is going to be 101, 000, 010. So early days, what happened was writing this binary number was very hard. Instead of writing the whole number as one digit, what they did is they grouped this into these 3 bits as one digit, these 3 bits as one digit, and these 3 bits as one digit. So when they grouped these 3 bits, they got the answer 2. These 3 bits represented 0. These 3 bits represent 500. Sorry, 5. So final answer is something like this. That's the story behind binary and octal stuff. I mean, their connection basically. Nothing you all will misunderstand it. Anyways, is that all of you? So how many of y'all, let me put all of your hands down first. How many of y'all got this answer? 101, 000, 010. 101 triple zero zero 10. 101 triple zero zero 10 base 2. That's the answer for this question. Anyone have any doubts there? Any questions there? Anyone having any questions there? I put two, not two. Better put the number two instead of the wording TWO. Okay, because that's more precise. Okay, as there's no other questions, I'm going to go for the next one. Write down the output f. So here they're asking the Boolean expression, okay? Normally, if you want to find the Boolean expression of the final answer, you should know each gate's output. Now tell me, what will be the output of this first gate? Which I had it in pink color. Okay, right, in dash is hard fail, so I can mention the, what do you call, inverted comma as well. Yeah, the output of this gate is going to be x dash, okay? And then the output of this gate is also going to be y dash, because you can see the input of that is y. Okay, now if I take this specific gate, okay, this is called the AND gate. If I take this AND gate, one of the input that's coming from the top is x dash, the input that's coming from the bottom is y, and if it's an AND gate, the symbol we use in between our input is going to be the dot. So I can see the value of this is going to be x dash dot y. Similarly, if I go for the next AND gate, we have the input that's coming from the top, that's going to be x dash. The input that's coming from the bottom, that is y dash. And because it's AND gate, the symbol we use is going to be the dot. So that's going to be x dash dot y dash. No, that's wrong. Next, we have a gate called the OR gate. So this is called the OR gate. So if I take the OR gate, the value I'm getting from the top is going to be x dash dot y. Always keep in mind, if your input has only one character. Now you can see in the previous scenario, the AND gate, the input we had only one character. The top input has only x dash, the bottom input has only y dash. If it has only one character, you can write it as this. But if your input has more than one character, for example, in this scenario, you can see the input we are getting from the top is x dash dot y. See, there are two characters. So when you have more than one character, always mention the brackets. So you're going to mention here x dash dot y. Then the input we are coming from the bottom is going to be x dash dot y dash. So next input is going to be x dash dot y dash. And then you mention the symbol in between. OR gate means plus is being used. Okay. The next gate we have is again an OR gate. You can in the top we are getting. Now the OR gate tell me for the input that's coming from the top. Okay. For the second OR gate, for the input that's coming from the top, should I use brackets? For the second OR gate, for the input that's coming from the top, should I use OR gate? Should I use a bracket? Yes. Why? There is more than one character. So I said you if there's more than one character, use the bracket. So I'm going to mention x dash dot y plus x dash dot y dash in bracket. Okay. For the input that's coming from the bottom, should I use a, what do you call, bracket? For the input that's coming from the bottom, should I use a bracket? No, because you can see the bottom input has only the value Z. There is no other characters there. So I can just mention without the brackets. Then if it is an OR gate between both the inputs, what is the character I had mentioned? Yes, OR gate means plus. So our answer is going to be something like this. So this is how you have to represent your answer. How many of you all got this correct? Raise your hands up. Let's see. Okay, if that's correct, give 2 marks. Yeah, I give the marks to previous question. No? Previous question for getting the binary answer 1 mark. For getting 3053 1. And before that question, for how ICT can be used in education, for this A, if you wrote four answers, give half marks. For B, if you wrote four answers, give half marks. Sorry, 1 mark, 1 mark, which means 0.25 marks each. 1 mark for A and 1 mark for B. Yes, Shaheen. For the first question, I gave the marks. The first question, major hardware, 1 mark. For the two inputs, two differences, half mark each. So total 1 mark. What is it, Abhi? Yeah. Okay. Match column A with column B. Keyboard. Video port, PS2 port, parallel port, network port. Mostly if you take keyboard, what is the port they use? A, B, C, or D? Yes, mostly if you take olden days keyboard, it's either or you call the keyboard will use a PS2 port or mouse will use. So they are not given mouse. Obviously, it should be keyboard then. And then if you take the printer, what do you think the printer will use? Video port, parallel port, or network port? Yes, earlier days printers and certain moderns as well, but yeah, certain printers used to use this parallel port, not nowadays, but okay, nowadays mostly they use the RJ45 port or else a USB port, depends on the computer. And then the router. What do your router use? A or D? Yes, routers they will use the network port, correct. What about your monitors? Yes, the monitors will use the video port. Perfect. Okay, so your answer is going to be something like this. If you got it correct, again half marks each, so total 2 marks. PS2 port was before PS2 port or not? Eh? Both are same when PS2. Monitors will use HDMI port also, no? Nowadays monitors all HDMI, but early days monitors it was like VGA. Depends, Umair. Some use HDMI. Mostly nowadays is HDMI. They don't use the PS2. You don't find PS2 ports in TVs, no? The PlayStations you connect to the TVs mainly. Okay. Write down the coding systems used by the computer. So when we are learning the third, wait, before that, is there anyone having any questions in the fifth one, first of all? If you have any questions, drop them in the chat, okay? Let's go with the next one, question number 6. Write down the coding systems used by the computer. So if you take your computer, when you learn the third lesson, you learn two things. One is you learn something called coding systems, and one is something called number systems. So binary, decimal, octal, hexadecimal, these are all coding system. But then you learn, so these are called number systems. In terms of coding systems, so if you take the difference between coding systems and number systems we use to represent numbers. Okay, just the normal numbers we use daily, how you can represent them in the computer. Okay, but if you take coding system, these are about how you can represent other characters. Now you can represent numbers as well, but apart from numbers, even other characters like letters or let's say certain times sound or images. There are different basics. So those are what you call as coding systems, right? So if you take coding systems, we have something called BCD, which stands for binary coded decimal. Then we have something called ASCII, which stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Then we have something called EBCDIC, and then we have Unicode. Likewise, these are the coding systems we have. Nowadays, we mostly use Unicode. What do you think is the reason we nowadays mostly use Unicode? Easy. No. 16-bit and highest character. That's the exact reason. Unicode is a coding system that can represent more than 65,000 different characters. Okay. But if you take BCD, it can represent only 10 characters. ASCII can represent only 128 characters. EBCDIC has only 256 characters. So Unicode, it has several characters, around 65,536 characters there. That is why nowadays we use mainly Unicode than other coding systems. Okay. Anyone having any questions there? This is again regarding the grade 10, lesson number 3. This paper looks like grade 10 paper, man. See, very ugly. Only one question there from grade 11 here. All these questions are very grade 10 questions. Very ugly. But let's see how much of. So if you wrote the answers, they are half marks each. Huh? Half marks into 4. Then our pace is, yeah, your grade 11 paper is very beautiful than the grade 10. In grade 10, it's a bit hard, I would tell, because only four lessons remain. How can I make the paper easy? So I made it hard. Grade 11 is easy because you all are being tested from how many lessons? Around 12 lessons are being, 9, 13 lessons are being tested. So yeah. Have you finished doing pseudocode lesson? Finished doing pseudocode lesson in May, I guess. Long time back. April or May. April, I guess. April or May, I can't remember. Next. Following pseudocode is designed for the purpose to find a given number as odd or even. Fill in the blanks to complete it. Begin input x. If x mod something equals 0, dash is even number. Else print dash is number. Blah blah blah. Okay. Now, if you want to, what do you call, find a number with its odd or even, if you look at this program, you can see input x. What do you think x is going to be? Exactly. X is going to be the number that's going to be entered by the user. Now, how can you find if a number is odd or even using the mod operator? Now, what you do with mod operator is you divide the number and check the remainder. So for example, if I say 5, if I input the number 5, x mod means, let's say I'm going to divide this by 3. So 3 times 1 is 3, 2 remains. So I can say x mod 3 is equal to how much? 2. So when I talk about mod, we're talking about the remainder. Now, if I divide x by how much, can I check if it's odd or even number? Exactly, by dividing it by 2. So I can say x mod 2 equals 0, which means divide x by 2 and check if the remainder is equal to 0. That's what x mod 2 equals 0. So when I divide the number by 2 and if the remainder is going to be 0, then what should I do is even number? Exactly. I have to print it or display it or show. If you had any synonym, it's correct. I'm going to use print here, but you can mention display, show, or any other synonym. It's also fine. So print x is an even number. Else print x is what type of number? If that condition, so here we have a condition, right? This is called a condition. If this condition is going to give you false, you will be coming. If that means if the condition is saying no, the answer is wrong, you come for the else part. So else what the number is? Exactly, it's odd number. And then whenever you use a if condition, you have to close that if condition as well. How do you close an if condition? Using what? Exactly. It's called the end if. So whenever you open the if condition, that means when you start writing if statement, to show where it completes, where it stops, you use the end if. So that's going to be end if. So yeah, it's going to be print odd and end if. So your marks is broken like this. Half marks for mentioning number 2, half marks for print, half marks for odd, and half marks for end if. So you get 2 marks there. Okay. First of all, tell me out of 14 marks, how many marks you all got? Drop in the chat. Let's see. Others, if I have any questions, drop them in the chat as well. This paper looks. I mean, I have scribbled too much. Anyways, drop your marks in the chat. And others, if you have any questions, let me know through the chat as well. Okay, interesting. I have 3 questions here. I'll give you all 3 minutes for this. What's the hardest programming question that can be asked in a paper? You think I'm so mad to tell you that? After my paper is released, I'll tell you. Because the question I have included in my paper is the hardest programming paper. On 22nd, I'll be having the hardest programming question which you might come across. Not all of you all, some of you all. For some of you all, those who don't study properly. So after the 22nd exam, I'll tell you what is the hardest programming question you can ever get in your life. Before doing the question, can I pray and come? It's 7:40 something, Nisha. Have time. See, you lied. Only programming is hard. Other than that, others all are very easy in your paper. Don't worry. Is it? And I have made a compulsory question as well, just for having fun with you all. Because I know some of you will come prepared. They're going to keep a programming question. So I'm going to make it a compulsory question to have fun. And total for programming in my paper, there is around 10, 12, let's say around 15, 20 marks. I can't remember exactly. So you can have fun in the programming question. Anyways, read the following paragraph and answer the question. Let's do together, will you? Malan watched a TV program using his smartphone. with a connection to Bluetooth speaker. The TV program consisted of some conversations and songs. Which data transmission medium is used in the above scenario? Okay, you can see Marlon is watching a TV program using his smartphone with a connection to Bluetooth speaker. Okay, so basically there is Marlon, a character. You can see there's a character called a smartphone, and we have a character called a Bluetooth speaker. So I'm going to call this as Marlon, this as his phone, and this as his speaker. The TV program consists of some conversation and songs. Fine, perfect. If you take Marlon and the phone, okay, can Marlon give instructions for the phone? Yes. Can the phone give instructions for Marlon? Instructions. I'm not asking can it give an output. I'm asking can it give instruction. Can the phone tell you, hey Marlon, don't sit in the chair, sit in the table, or don't sit in the table, sit in the chair. Don't sleep, stand. So like, can the phone give Marlon instructions to do something? Similarly, can phone give an instruction for speaker? Like, can the phone talk with the speaker? Yes, phone can give instruction to the speaker. Phone will, hey speaker, play this song now. Hey speaker, don't stop playing that now. Or play this song now. Okay, it can give the instruction. But similarly, can the speaker give instruction for the phone? Certain Bluetooth speakers can actually, but majority I don't think you can. Okay, mostly no. Reduce the volume. Reduce the volume is the speaker giving instruction for its own self. That is not instruction it's giving for the phone. So that is not a suitable answer. There is one thing you can tell. That is, well, for example, in the speakers, certain speakers, you have this pause play button. So you press the pause button, it might get paused in your phone as well, but again, not in all the speakers. So that's not a proper scenario. So most of the time, it's only a one-way communication, not a two-way communication, right? So if it's going to be just only one way, like Marlon and phone, only one way, phone and speaker, only one way. If it's going to be just a one-way communication, what type of communication do you call this as? Yes, it's called a simplex. Okay, it's called a simplex data transmission. Okay. Now, Marlon and phone, there is nothing he uses. He just uses his hand only to give the instruction. But if you take phone and speaker, are these two devices going to be connected? What do you call in a wired manner or wireless manner? If I take a Bluetooth speaker and a phone, and I'm connecting both of them, is it a wired manner? I'll be connecting a Bluetooth speaker, or in a wireless manner, I'll be connecting a Bluetooth speaker. Yes, I'll be connecting a Bluetooth speaker in a wireless manner. Tell me another name for this wireless connection. There's a name we learned for wireless connection. Is it guided or unguided? Exactly. It's going to be unguided. Perfect. So when they ask you what is the data transmission medium here, you can mention here what do you call what which data transmission wireless medium, and you can be a bit more precise as well. Normally, if you take Bluetooth, Bluetooth come on which example? So for wireless, you will learn one is radio waves, one is infrared, and one is microwaves. What do the Bluetooth use? Exactly. Bluetooth uses radio waves. Perfect. And what is the data transmission mode? Just now I told you. One-way communications. What is that mode? Yep, see, that's going to be simplex mode. So the mode is going to be simplex, and the medium you can mention wireless medium. To be more precise, it's going to be the radio waves. Is that clear? Any questions there? Okay, the next one then, the last question for the, oh no, one before the last. Match column A and B. Software which checks attached devices when a computer turns on. What is the software? When you're on in the computer as well. Actually, that's not a software. That's what actually. But there are three things in a computer: hardware, software, and firmware. That's actually a yeah, that's actually a firmware, correct. So what is that firmware called as? Perfect. It's the BIOS. Next, operating system with command line interface. Okay, they have given only one example for operating system. They could have made the question hard for you. I mean, see, I told you, these papers already Baba papers for you. Exactly, it's MS DOS. Okay, MS DOS is actually a single-use operating system as well. Just like our Mr. Nazran, who is there here. Want to see his face? No need, power. Okay. A mechanism of initializing suitable storage structure. Okay, initializing storage. That means what you do there is you take the storage device and break it into something called as memory units. A side effect of that is it will lose all the data. What is it? Yeah, that's called formatting or format. In format only what happens. The main part of formatting is what you do is you take the whole hard disk and you like break into multiple memory units. Okay. So that's what you call as initializing the hard disk. And a side effect of that is all of your data is going to get erased. But some people think that formatting is mainly about erasing data. Erasing data is a side effect. It's not the main part of formatting. Okay. Then, a mechanism of rearranging files in the hard disk. First of all, tell me, before you rearrange the files, let's say the file is going to be in a scattered manner. What do you call that as? The data is being, what? There's a character laughing in that. You'll understand why is he laughing later on. Coming soon. Yeah, that's called fragmentation. Correct. Okay. So if your data is fragmented, we're not going to rearrange this data. What do you call that process as? Yeah, so that's going to be called as defragmentation. Perfect. Okay, so defragmentation is where I'm going to. Why did Rizlan sir laugh? You will know the reason.
You will know that. You will know that soon.
You will know the reason soon. There's a history behind that, which you will get to know soon. Okay. Anyways, so that's what defragmentation is. You're going to rearrange the data, as mentioned there. Okay. So that's when you match them together. The software which checks the device when it's on, that's BIOS. The operating system with command line interface, that's DOS. Then the initializing memory, that's called formatting, and rearranging the files, it's the defragmentation. Was that Rizal answer? Yes, yes, him only. But me all can't recognize his face even. Shit. The laugh you laughed blasted my ears. Okay, the last question for the day. List two advantages of computer network. So what are the advantages we have? Ability to share resources, correct. We can connect multiple devices, correct. We can share resources, correct. Share files, correct. Email, correct. What else? What is the main advantage? For example, let's say I can access my files from my home, from the office, from a different country. How do you put that into words? And as well, I can access a file morning, evening, night, whenever I want. How do you name that as? What when I give you two hints, still you all can't figure out that. Anna correct, Zina correct. Not whenever, wherever. There's another name for that. What is that? Yes, you can access your files from anywhere at any time. This is one of the main advantages, right? Anywhere at any time. So apart from that, you can mention you can share files easily. Then you can access email, correct. Social media, that's also correct. But apart from that, you can connect multiple devices together. Security connect is all valid answers. So those two, you all write the answers, Nick. Correct, 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 correct. Can we say remote access? Yes, that's also an ability of what you call it, common networks. That's also correct. Yeah, so with that, actually, we're done with the whole paper. I mean, the first question. Anyone having any questions based on that, based on what we learned today? Sir, say the history video. You'll be getting to know the history soon, man. Coming soon.
Who's that?
Yahya Javid.
That fellow.
Yes. Great, clever. So, Namalian, what is? Do you want publicity? Anyone having any questions based on what we learned? You will get to know it soon, man. First of all, prepare for the day. It's coming on 22nd. That's going to be something that's going to be eating your. So first you prepare for that. Then you can see the other things. Yeah, you're already ready, is it? Good.
Good.
Umair Suleiman, that spectacle, St. Thomas.
Asking his maths marks.
Sorry, Islas is asking your maths marks.
How's your maths marks, Umair?
Be awesome there.
Who is ready for the IT exam?
Umair Suleiman.
Can I tell you maths marks?
Bye bye.
Ah.
Bye bye.
He must be thinking this guy tortures me in the whole maths class, online class, now coming to IT class and also roasting me. Universal roasting, that fellow is.
Yeah, I know. Our classes we get roasted.
Remember that fragmentation part? Huh? Soon you will realize why I laugh, but that is not the reason I am laughing. After that, you will realize why I really laugh. It will take a little bit of time. In the legendary words of one of my taxi drivers, Sonangum mana Velangu. You will wait for it, wait for it.
Breaking us into clusters, yes. Is he Rizla? Not Riz, when he's Riz. R-I, is it?
Riz. I have Riz in my name. Finish, will you?
Okay, there's no any question. So Rizlan is asking to finish the class. Because of that, I'm going to finish.
Finish. Go home, sleep.
So sorry, that.
Sleep. Go. Bye.
Thought I heard his voice. Yes, he's on here with you. I thought, okay, guys, if you all have any questions, I can again get back with WhatsApp. I will clarify them. So, Tata, bye bye. Have a nice day. Enjoy. Both look like brothers, huh?
I look like the younger brother. Go take a AI version, like a young version.
Bye bye. Uncle. Go.
It's okay, man. I am uncle only. For you only, that's an insult.
Why he comes? This is not his house, man. This is the academy.
This is the academy. This fellow. He is only staying here full time.